Hello and welcome back to Tech Artist 41. Alright, what we ended up with yesterday was this. Still working on the others, but I did clean her up a little bit. And then we have this one where I still need to work on her. But the thing is, sometimes you have to do a little bit of research just because you don't know exactly what you want to draw. And the research step of, well, any type of artwork does help in the end. So let's see. It's like images for a women's dress. Oh, that's fun. It's dresses. Wow. Okay. I just want images. There you go. Sometimes drawings do help to find out what exactly you want to do for, well, anybody. And mostly, yeah. It does help to have some reference and all that. Just whatever's out there. I normally don't, for the reason that I think it all in my... I use some of it in my head, but something like this would probably help. Let's see. And yeah, no. And what I normally do is I just save the image. So, but yeah. Everyone has their own different way of doing things, but when you are stuck in a rut of how you want to actually draw or do any of your paintings whatsoever, that is one of the ways that you can actually get out of the rut. Let's see this right here, right? Yep. We're gonna clean her up a little bit. And, well, not really a little bit, more of a lot of it. Alright, there we go. Okay. Alright. And just so that everybody knows, on this stream is not going to be, well, I'm not going to continue the stream for a long time today. More or less, I'm just not feeling it today. But whoever comes up and asks me any questions about crypto or anything like that, if you do have any questions about it, I can answer them. Course, there's sometimes only just one person that shows up on the stream. I'm I'm grateful that they do, and they most likely just saw the post that I had on Twitter, or and I don't post on Twitter that often. I'm still trying to fix that. But there are many different things in this world that don't revolve around Twitter. Oh, lovely. Okay. There we are. Well, sort of. Still have to fix a few things on it, but it's getting there. I do like the just regular drawing. But yeah. I may change the lips because it doesn't fit her. Alright, the first thing I need to get rid of is that. Copy the color, put it back on brush, and put it back on eraser. Alright. But most people think drawing's easy. You can just do that. Sure. And the fact of the matter is, people think AI is not going to take over the world. It will in different aspects, but in order for us as artists, or any person who loves art, the passion for art can die. It's happened before. Has anybody really heard of the Dark Ages? Where all dreams slightly die a little bit, but sorry, I'm being a little morbid. No, most people tend not to have interest in doing just their own work. And the reason why I love cryptocurrency is a lot more complicated than just loving how to mine it and all that. There's no other type of thing out there that sort of is interesting. It makes money a little bit more interesting, and it helps with trying to understand it in that sense. Yeah, I think that's fine. I do need to fix a few things. Okay. Alright. Now we go to this. And think about scars that are different from anything else. Is there are many different ways to do scars, and the simplest is just to put it as a different color that is very similar to the color that you are working with. Yeah. That's mostly the way to make it work properly. Okay. Yeah, I'm a lot more quiet today than I would normally be, but the thing is, sometimes adding shadows to places with the another color does help a little bit too. You don't want to make it way too obvious, but you want to at least add something so that whenever you're, well, just doing anything, it adds a little bit more of a shadow or something to it. But the thing is, you can't have everything just flat. It doesn't work out that way. Um, Especially with certain types of highlights and all that. You do need a different color or different sort of base color in a way, just to make it so it looks a little bit more natural. And it just has to be very subtle. Nothing too big or too small, just subtle. And if you add it way too much, too often, in many different places, it will get noticed and it will not work. But just adding that slight bit of subtleness does help. Just making it a little bit easier for but if you make it too different from even, well, sometimes scars either make them really dark or you don't. And they can turn out way too gray. But you do need to add some depth to the scar. Just enough to where it looks a little bit more believable than just something that's on there. There we go. Looks a little bit better. Yeah. Just the face, and then it should be done. Face is a little bit harder because it's a little bit lighter. Sometimes even just this. And there we have it. She has scars the way she needs to have scars. Well. Okay. Do need to do a few things with the outline. First thing is to erase some of it. go. Fix a few things here and there. Alright. I may just crop this down. A lot of these, I may just end up cropping them into their own little silhouettes. Well, not that, but something like this and that. But yeah. Alright, let's continue with her. I'll at least... This is the one I at least want to try to finish. I've been trying to get this done this whole week anyway, so... Let's at least finish this one. Then I can say I finished something. But... And so... So we got the hair... Let's go down to the clothes. Right here. Okay. Yeah, my organization method of all this is not really correct. There we go. Let's erase there. Add some filler here. Erase that. Let's brush. Okay. I will need to fix that right there, but something for later. I like her a lot better than I do, let's see, the Untitled one. She just looks like she doesn't want to be there. Yeah, let me crop it down. Sorry, but... No add a background to her. But that'll be the last step, and that is the one step that I'm gonna wait until the end. But for the last step, what I do is I take a gray background and fill it. But sometimes it just needs to be black. And then I can actually see where I need to get rid of some extra areas. That kind of looks nice with that, but I'll add it a little bit more later. But this also helps with cleaning up anyone's artwork. Of course, I took so long on this that I didn't lose interest. I just got bored of just dealing with drawing it. Even though it is one of the things that I do like to do on a constant basis, is draw, paint, sculpt. But the thing is, people lose passion quite easily. I'm one of the same. Okay. Got the scars. Got the tone. It makes her look even worse. Just, well, not really worse. this at least brightens her up a little bit. It's plus, to some degree. Let's see. And people would wonder why I use this method instead of just putting a mask over it. It would be so much easier. The problem with masks that I have is the fact that they tend to leave not really residue. They're I know you can make a mask very smooth that does not have jagged edges, but all the things with masks is they tend to have jagged edges every single time I, well, deal with them. And so I tend to stay away from those. Let's... And of course I don't have any girlfriends or anybody like that. No one to really quite understand me, but that happens. And I'm more of not the general person to ask on relationship, but no, I've had many different relationships with women and had, well, more ruined my relationships with them. It's pretty sad in itself because I was more at fault than they were. I was acting a little too clingy and, well, more obsessed than clingy. But, hey. That's what happens when you're young and you're just looking for someone who will understand you for who you are. I know everybody feels that too. That loneliness that creeps up behind you. But, yeah, no, I've known about my loneliness for quite a while. I felt alone ever since, let's see, not really kindergarten, it happened more in grade school that I kind of had that feeling where just this loneliness. But, hey, we all go through it. It's just the way it's the way anybody's life is. Can't blame someone for being themselves. Well, you can. Some people even get executed for it in some other countries, but that's getting off topic there. And why do you think I suspect that from other countries and all that? I do love them. They are fun to, well, just go to and have fun every so often. Some people like to live there. I don't. I'm more of, I do like the U.S. and it has potential to be one of the better places to live in the future. It's just how much of a chance are you wanting to take for security? But nothing's financial advice on any channel that exists. Well, there are some, but I'm not a financial advisor or saying you chose the wrong path. No. Everybody has their own way of living, and I won't scratch that or tell them that the way they live is wrong. Because there's no really right way to live, just that you live. So, turn off that. Interesting. So when I turn off the shading layer, right? Huh. Weird. I don't know. Alright, so we got that. Do need to fix the lines. Still getting a little bit more on the ears though. Yeah. Alright, so that's that. Just need to fix a few things here. Okay. That should be number 3, right? Yep, number 3. But what I want to tell you guys is a story of who I am. Even though some people may not quite understand that, I've been lucky all my life. Yes, I've had everything that everything that I've ever wanted, really, to an extent. Huh. Yeah, but sometimes that's not enough to really do anything. Is even though you have everything in life, it doesn't mean you're happy. It doesn't mean you're sad either, but the thing is, I don't mind having many things given to me. I don't need any electronics for the next 20 to 30, well, 20 years actually, because by then it'll be out of date. But I don't need any sort of high technology or anything like that. I do need a new a new regular computer so that I can actually use it. But I don't need any big things in gadgets or all that stuff. I mostly just spend my stuff on dating sim scams at this point. Uh, Dating sims or strategy games. But I'm more of like things to be free on everything. No censorship on certain games. Uh, and if you're going to censor anything, even if it is an anime or a cartoon of any sort, be smart about it. Don't just don't just censor it like there's no tomorrow, because it'll just piss off everybody. When I mean piss off, it'll piss off every single viewer that is watching it, and your sales numbers will go down after people watch it. Even if the story is good, it's like why? I know there are regular regulations for that, but at least be smart about it and not just do it because you had to do it. Make it so that if you're doing it, cut out the scene, or if there is nudity, just why are you covering up the breasts, or even so it's just not right. The way people just show how nudity is. Oops. A little too much there. There we go. But, yeah. Everyone in this life has a chance to do things in a way that will surprise or amaze or whatever. It's not my direction to judge. Well, it's everybody's direction to judge people, but the thing is, how much you judge someone can affect how someone understands something as well. So it's not just the fault of the person, it's the fault of how you act in front of it. Whoops, a little bit too much there. There we go. A little bit there. And then fix the eye here. But most people in this world aren't going to care on how they do things. I'm more of just standing, say, I love all the different types of things that come out of Japan and all that, but the fact that this world just censors everything like no tomorrow. It's a lot better than it used to be, where the censorship was just I don't know. I don't know where it was. It was so just bad. The translation censorship is one of the worst things that has ever been created. Because if you're going to understand a culture or anything about other people, you do need to understand that there are different things in different places. Nothing's going to end up the same if you go to Japan or Italy or but there is great. There is really good Japanese food in Italy. You really should try and go to Italy if you want Japanese food without going all the way to Japan. Cause, oh man, the food over there is phenomenal. Um, of course, I'm getting off track, but yeah, no, there are just some things that people could work better on just censoring. It doesn't have to all be censored, just some of it, to some degree, and with moderation in mind. But that's just me, really. Um, Pen. Yep, there we go. Alright, let's see. This is probably the most interesting part of this whole thing, anyway. And I don't care if people speed through this later. Uh, everybody has a little bit of a distinct way of drawing things. I tend to have it in a way that is unorthodox because I clean up my drawings before I finish drawing on them. It's a little bit too much there, I think. Well, maybe not. But I but throughout my whole life, people have just given me things like nothing. Electronics are candy. But no, in serious note, I don't mind it. It's just I do appreciate it because I will use everything that people give me, and or I'll sell it and people will have a machine that works better, and I'll teach them how to use it or something like that. But because just like in electronics, I know how to fix them. I know how to, but there is still a small degree to my knowledge of how to fix things. I'm not the most diligent in that way, because there have been times where people didn't like my services, and I understand why. And I lost that client, and I know I'll never get them back, but some of those clients were just outright rude. But when I don't have a response from anybody for weeks, and I emailed them, and of course I would have made a contract to them and all that nonsense of stuff, but still, I was out $400 that day when trying to fix a PS4 Pro. But the thing is, someone had tried to fix it beforehand, and if it's something like that, I will not fix. Uh, well, I can't really fix it because there's no way to easily fix something like that. Because to fix something like that, you need a really good machine. Otherwise, you end up screwing it over. So, yeah. But, yeah, I gave them money, but the thing is, I saw that it was their fault to begin with, that they broke the HDMI port. And I hate when electronics like that just end up like that in the first place. Of course, I threw away the components and all that. I kept some of them just for spare parts in the future, but oops. But to treat something like that, it's just horrible. What can you do? It's just how things end up sometimes. There we go. Got the horns. I'm doing a little bit of shading, cell shading in some aspects of this. Just to give it a tiny bit of, well, no, that's a little bit too much there. Actually, I can change the opacity in a second. And I most likely will have to anyway. And opacity at, say, there? No? No. I'm gonna delete that. Yeah, it doesn't look very good. Okay, so let's see. I'll need to make it lighter. Put this on, put the flow on, the hardness to 0. And then I take this and brush it. There we go. So whenever I do any of my, just anything, especially horns and all that, what you want to do is just draw in a way that makes everything look more alive. But the hair is tricky because there are many different ways to style hair in the digital space. And the way to style hair on, anything that's done through AI, they'll do it perfectly even. But the thing is, when it's perfectly even, it doesn't look right in certain cases. Most people will think, oh, it took you a long time to do the hair. Yeah, because I had to think about it. How do I want to do the hair this time? It's not always so simple as... And the thing is, when you do the hair, you have to sort of trick everybody's eyes into thinking that you did brushstroke after brushstroke or something similar to that. not just put highlights here, highlights there. You actually have to go deep into what you're doing, because that is sometimes the way to just make it a little bit more believable. And with different types of colors, you can give different effects. It all depends on how you want everything to look in your, well, just in your drawing to begin with. And sometimes, oops, yep. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky though. Hey, I got 2 views, yay. But hey, yeah, sometimes it's tricky to do the hair. Let's see. Do I want to darken it, multiply, color burn? I'm just looking at my options. Dissolve. No, that doesn't look right. Low dodge, widen. Sometimes screen. Screen actually adds a nice effect to it. Or do I? Just makes it look like her hair is going wild. Let me do screen. Screen actually looked pretty good. It gives a little bit more of a substance to her hair. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, and now the clothing. The clothing is a little bit tricky because you don't want to make it so that the clothing is obviously done separately. There we go. So right here. So the clothing, you do have to get the same color, just like anything else. Brush. And you have to make it lighter. How much lighter? It really depends on you. And then you take... No, that's way too much there. And sometimes you actually have to go beyond what you think you're trying to do. Because the effect of the brush needs to be a lot larger than the scope of your, well, the scope of the image itself. Let's try 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 works. And the thing is, you don't want it to be too bland or too bright in some cases. Because you just want that subtle effect, not something that overtakes the image too much. So, because there are parts of the image that you want lighter, and there are parts of the image that you do want darker too. And the thing is, you want to also do this with the eraser too. So the eraser is just as important as the brush, because the brush and the eraser go hand in hand, and you do need to erase just as much, in a sense. So whenever you're erasing anything, right. It also needs to follow the same guidelines. But you also have to be very careful when you're doing any layering or anything like that, because if you do not do it right, and you choose a layer that there's already something on, brush, there we go. Then you kind of screwed yourself over in a way. There we go. Okay. But you have to be very careful whenever you're doing any sort of artwork, because if it's not what the client wants, then, well, you kind of screwed yourself over in one way. But at the same time, you have to understand that the client's needs aren't just your needs, they're the needs of what you wanted to do. But with any sort of simple techniques, you can actually get good effects from even the simplest of images like this. So, alright, so we got the clothing, we got the, well, now we have to clean it up again, but you just go in that same process. Alright. Let's see. If anybody wants to use this channel as reference, it's fine for me. I do not care whatsoever. Because okay, something's really wrong with the program. Okay. Alright, let's go back to eraser, fix the settings here. Something more manageable, hardness at 100%. Turn off the fading and start erasing again. But as you keep on going through everything, you do need to clean up. Every step of the way of cleaning up all the work that you've done is very important, because if you don't clean it up, then, well, things tend to get merged into each other. So just be careful on that too. But subtleness is one of the key things to even make an image like this just pop. And of course I did not finish her. She needs fixing right here. Oh, right. Pen, eraser. Oh. Eraser, brush, pen. Change the pen to something more manageable. If I can get it to respond. There we go. Nope. No, no, no. Even off the screen, okay. That's just fantastic. There we go. Sometimes Adobe does not work. It just tends to bug out. I've had that happen 12 times every single time I draw anything with Adobe. But I'm using a 2018 Mac Mini with 32 gig. I would like a Silicon Mac Mini, but I don't have enough money just yet for that. And of course, a Silicon Mac Mini would do wonders with what I'm trying to do. Of course, I would have to make sure it has 64 gigabytes of DDR5. But yeah. There we go. Sorry, I'm just responding to people. Alright. She looks good this way, too. I would have to clean her up a little bit more, but... yeah. Alright, but... what am I looking at? I figured. Okay. Well, I'm going to end it there today. I know there are many people that, well, there's one person that had a question, and I responded a little bit late. I know people just glance at whatever's on their, whatever's there. And I get more of captivated by the drawing itself. But this one's almost finished. There are a few things that I do need to finish, like making the background and all that. If anybody does have any questions of anything that I'm trying to do, you can always message me, and it may take me a moment to respond, because I am focusing directly on the drawing. But if you do have any questions after any of the streams, I will answer them. You just have to make sure to message either this video or something on those lines. But thanks for the 2 people who joined me today, and I really do hope more people join me in the future. I have not really finished anything this week. I but these are the many different drawings. Well, that one isn't. These are the many different drawings that I've done throughout the week. There are a few things that I'll probably redo, like this one. Um, yeah, yeah. This one right here. Um, I may end up redoing the hair. It's one of the things that annoys me at this point. But it's one of the things that I will end up redoing. And also the colorization on the necklace itself. But I hope everybody had an interesting time watching me draw her. I have not yet given her a name, and uh, next time we will finish her off. She will be the first one that I finish this week. Then onto the next one that I'll finish will be her. I'm still working on the hands for her. She is best, but no, I'm working on the hands, and there are many different things that I can do of what people want, but I mostly just draw portraits and landscapes, and if I don't have anything in my mind, I mostly just draw whatever comes to me, and sometimes it's either a demon, a fox girl, a bunny girl, a person who looks pissed, who looks sad, who wants to kill you straight out, lusting for you, someone who just wants to say hello, or someone who just staring blankly at you. Either way, I'm more of just drawing these just so that I don't forget. And if anybody wants me to draw anything else, it cannot be copyrighted. It will not be a web. It won't be a webtoon or anything like that. But this stream is mostly just if anybody has any question of how to draw, or if they want to understand anything of what I'm trying to do. And all I'm trying to do on these streams are drawing and to show my skills, and that's mostly what it is. It's not really anything other than me talking in the background and talking about crypto and all the many different things that I know or I can teach. If anybody wants to learn how to use the Mac, I'll actually show you how to use the Mac on one of these streams. Of course, just simple things and simple suggestions of what you can do. Or if you want to use Windows, I'll have a stream on one of my Windows computers that I have. Or if you want to use Linux, I'll even do that. I'm not limited to anything that I have, and I have the ability to help you understand how you can use your own computer. It's as simple as that. And for right now, I'm just doing these streams on YouTube. I'm not doing anything else. I'm mining crypto in my garage. I'm mining crypto throughout my house. The only reason why I mine crypto is so that my money is free. Just as free as I wish to actually be in the societal bounds of this corporation of of anything. But I really do hope people will come in next time, and if you do have any questions, make sure to stay on long enough for me to actually answer those questions. It may take a couple of minutes, but at least to an extent. Don't just stay on there for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. At least put in some sort of conversation. But for today, this is Tech Artist 41 signing off. And if you do have any questions, or if you want me to draw something for you, if you want me to even paint an actual painting for you, I can do that. It depends on if you want me to or not. But any questions on anything, and just leave a notation on these, well, on any of these streams. Even after the stream, I will respond to you. You just have to wait around a day or so. So, but if there's nothing other than that, thanks for joining, and for the ones that were confused, I'm sorry that I confused you on what the heck I was actually doing. But I was just messing with the colors and making sure that every part of the drawing itself looked nice. So, well, thanks for joining, and I'm signing off for today.